The Fusion Cables Back and Lats workout is going to focus on a variety of different exercises that's going to challenge our back muscles, our pulling muscles, our stability muscles. Work through the entire workout, driving resistance level as well as pace. We want to focus on conditioning and always working at the heaviest level possible to get max amount of results. Let's go ahead and get our Fusion cables set up today. We're going to be working with all 3 levels on both sides to really get max amount of resistance. If you're not this strong, that's okay. Drop the top mounts. If you're not strong enough for 4, go ahead and drop the bottom and we'll work from the middle. But the key is to always increase the amount of weight and work as heavy as we can to reach the rep ranges at failure. After you get each Fusion cable through the Fusion mount, remember we're going under, over, and then loop around, pulling it tight. Check that how-to video if you need to review the time method to make sure that we're training safely. Next, we're gonna pull all the resistance bands to the middle and loop our anchor strap through. The little tip should come through the big loop and then pull it tight. Now we've got a great place to attach a handle for our Fusion cable power turns. To complete this exercise, you're gonna walk out into the resistance level. We wanna have them nice and stretched before we turn. That way, it's not getting a lot of slack and jumping all over the place. We wanna work in resistance and stability through the whole rotational plane. You're gonna place your hands out in a nice, strong position. Don't place them on your body, straighten them out a little bit and get a good base. We're then gonna rock our hips, drive through, take our arms around and get a good rotational plane for 20 reps. This is gonna be a bit of a warm up, but yet it's gonna be high intensity. So push your pace and work through the resistance on both sides. You're gonna take a 30-second break in between both your right turns and your left turns. So you'll go left, then you'll go right, then you'll take your 30-second break for 3 total rounds. After this, you ought to be good and heated up and ready for the back workout. The next exercise is really going to showcase the Fusion cables. We're gonna clip 2 Fusion handles and back off the wall just a bit to where we've got good range of motion resistance. We've got to get just past that point at which you're gonna get slack in the cables. So back up, have a seat, and keep your feet for leverage. We're gonna be doing seated rows. Make sure that when you reach at your extension point, there is no slack. We wanna be right at that line to where our full eccentric and concentric distances are all in resistance. To begin this exercise, we're gonna be moving through 12 slow and really contracted freeze reps. So you're gonna get towards the back, have a little bit of a hesitation, and keep great range of motion, squeezing your shoulders and back throughout the entire range of motion. After you get done with these 12 reps, you're immediately gonna get into some pace reps. Continue to pick up the pace and move through 8 more repetitions, moving very quickly. This is gonna put our muscles over the top before our 60-second break. Stand up, shake your arms around a little bit and get ready to rock, because right after that 60 seconds, you're gonna be backing up, sitting back down for an additional 10-8 set. We've got 6 total sets of this exercise, so keep the pace high, stay on it as you move through the entire exercise. Remember to keep your arms straight, don't curl your wrists and squeeze with your shoulder blades. If you're moving through the range of motion thinking forearm, curling your wrist, you're gonna feel it in your elbows and your forearms. That's not what we're looking for, so straight wrist. Drive the elbows back and squeeze with your shoulder blades. Now that we've finished up our seated rows, we're gonna move immediately into our single arm heavy rows. We're gonna be working in a split position, dropping off one of our Fusion handles. We're only gonna need the one. We're going 8 reps on the right and 8 reps on the left before a 60-second break. These should be heavy reps, so you're probably gonna use the same level of resistance you were using for the seated rows. Remember, you've got a little bit of give and take there where you can move about a foot forward or a foot back in any direction to mess with your weight very easily. So try to challenge yourself with that heavy resistance level. If you can't quite get it, move forward just a little. And if that doesn't do it, then we can unhook some of those levels. But if not, we're gonna keep that pace high and stay very heavy through 4 total sets. So 8 on the left, 8 on the right, 4 complete sets with 60-second breaks in between. Form here is very important. You don't want to bend over and reach and use our lumbar. We want to try to stay high, stretch our shoulder, drive with our lat, pull with our back muscles, and really gain some size here. You should have a tremendous burn as we move into this last phase, but we're going to put it over the top with lighter repetitions. Unstrap the anchor strap from the Fusion cables. We're going to be working with just one arm, so drop one off, throw that anchor strap through, or just hook through the individual levels of bands through those anchor straps. Here, our pace has to change. We've got lighter weight, so we're taking less rest and moving more quickly. We're gonna be working 12 repetitions, both sides, picking up the pace, working through that full range of motion with only 30 seconds of rest in between 3 sets. Push yourself and always work to failure. If you get to that 12 rep range and you're not quite there, do a couple extra reps, and in between sets, throw on another cable or a higher level cable so that we can be where we need to be to finish this workout. The Fusion Cable seated lat pull down is going to require the Fusion mount on the top anchor. We're going to put that anchor strap, small tip through the anchor, and then pull the big loop through the small. So when we pull it out, now we've got that great loop to anchor resistance through. Grab 1, 2, or even 3 levels of resistance and put them through the anchor strap. We're gonna be doing 12 repetitions of 3 sets with 60-second breaks. So we're gonna place all 3 through the loop, and then we're gonna grab those resistance cables by the necks. Have a seat, and we're gonna drive our elbows back. Now, if you find that your height is a little bit off, we wanna move out from the wall and lean our chest back slightly to keep that straight lat pull down angle. You're gonna be squeezing those lats, squeezing those shoulder blades as tight as you can and moving through that great range of motion. If you find yourself reaching up and you're losing the resistance at the top, the key is, as I said, to move away from the wall a little bit so we can get that great range of motion on those pull downs. Should be a high-paced repetition set as you move through each one. The final exercise for the back and lat workout is gonna be the straight arm lat pull down. We're gonna grab 2 of our Fusion handles, place them on the Fusion cables, and then keep our arms straight coming down to our hips. Make sure that we resist on the way up and accelerate on the way down. Keep the pace nice and high and work through that range of motion. Don't kick your butt back too far and don't stagger off to the sides. This exercise is great as long as we work the right muscles. So get your abs tight, squeeze your hips, roll your butt under, and then work to flex down and decelerate slowly. With our Fusion Cable back and lat workout, the key is always going to be working to failure and keeping the time under tension as high as possible. So mess with those levels of resistance. We want the optimal amount of resistance during every exercise. If you find yourself starting a little bit lower, the next week increase the weight. Work all the way up to that level 5. Work all the way up to doubling up with the level 5 and level 4 in some of the exercises. Challenge yourself and push yourself, and you'll definitely see the difference.